So since, this is a Toronto-based network, I got to ask you about the Nelk Boys a little more in detail. You don't got to go crazy.
What up, fam? To everybody in Toronto, what up? Big things are going on. You already know, straight out the 514, man.
So when you met them, like, explain to me that experience.
For Nelk Boys, that was definitely a very, very lit day. Very fun time. We had back-to-back yachts, super yachts in Miami, crazy 100-footer yachts. One of the yachts had like a full club in it. And the reason why I linked up with the Nelk Boys is because this goes back to what I was saying earlier and how music was the first stepping stone into the entertainment industry. So I went from music into like Web3 and blockchain. So we're working on an NFT collection with Lil Durk called Next Gens. So we're still working on it. It's going to be a very, very sick project. Basically, we're doing digital sneakers for the metaverse, and we're also doing NFTs that give you access to be able to claim a real physical pair of shoes. So it's super limited edition, super exclusive. And Nelk Boys, they were doing the interview with Lil Durk. And since Lil Durk, he's one of the founders of the project, they actually brought me on board onto the podcast too, to talk about the project and just elaborate a little bit, since Lil Durk he at the time he was educated on Web3, but he needed just a little bit of assistance to get into the nitty gritty, into the details about the project and what the main goals are and everything. So they brought me on to explain. But that whole day with the Nelk Boys, I was chilling with them all day on the yachts. They're super, super cool guys. And we literally partied for a few hours, and it was super fun. And that was the same. Like during the day we were partying and I was shooting my video for Ball Harbor that just dropped yesterday.
Yeah, you just released that. I seen that. I was going to ask you about that.
So that dropped on Sunday, and surprisingly it's doing pretty well for someone who hasn't dropped music in like 3 years. But that during the day was the video shoot for that, and just chilling with the Nelk Boys, building the connection. And then later on that night, we ended up going to another yacht, like a completely different yacht that was parked outside of like a crazy mansion somewhere in Miami, on one of the islands. And that's where we had the Full Send podcast interview, and that shit got like 4 million views on YouTube. So that was sick.
Yeah, that was a big podcast, man.
Yeah, no, it was definitely exciting to be on that. I mean, full disclosure, I was high as shit during that whole podcast. I smoked a blunt like literally 30 seconds before they called me up. And the thing is like at that point, like an hour went by in the podcast. So I didn't think they were going to call me up at all. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go smoke a blunt in the front of the boat with some of Dirk's boys. And I didn't smoke or drink the whole day. Like the whole day, I was like, I'm going to be A1 for this podcast. And then right before, I end up smoking a backwood. And if anyone who knows me, like, backwoods will put me on my ass real quick. So yeah, I was high as shit during that whole interview, but thankfully it turned out well. And, we got the message across. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think it came out blessed for sure, fam. For sure.